First contact and culture shock. The sleek, silver spacecraft of the Galactic Federation hovered silently above Earth's atmosphere, its hull gleaming in the sunlight. Inside, Ambassador Zixlar of the Centauri Union fidgeted nervously, his iridescent scales shimmering with each movement. He turned to his aide, Vreen, and spoke in a hushed tone. "Are we absolutely certain about this, Vreen? These humans, they're from a Class 12 death world. Is it wise to invite them into the Federation?" Vreen's tentacles rippled in what passed for a shrug among her species. "The Council has made its decision, Ambassador. Humanity's technological progress has been remarkable. We can't ignore them any longer." As the ship began its descent, neither of them could have predicted the sheer chaos that would ensue from this first official contact. The landing site was Washington, D.C., carefully chosen for its political significance. As the ship touched down on the National Mall, a mixed crowd of government officials, scientists, and curious onlookers gathered. The air was thick with anticipation and more than a little fear. Ambassador Zixlar emerged from the ship, blinking in the bright sunlight. His translator device chirped to life as he addressed the crowd. "Greetings, people of Earth. We come in peace and with an invitation to join the galactic community." What happened next would be etched in the annals of both human and alien history. As Zixlar extended his hand, a gesture he had carefully rehearsed, a gust of wind blew a discarded food wrapper into his face. Instinctively, he recoiled, his defensive scales rising in alarm. In that same moment, a human child, no more than 5 years old, darted forward. With lightning-fast reflexes that left the alien delegation stunned, she snatched the wrapper away from the ambassador's face. "Sorry, Mr. Alien," she chirped, stuffing the wrapper into her pocket. "Mom says we gotta keep Earth clean for our new space friends." The humans in the crowd chuckled, but the alien delegation was in shock. Vreen's tentacles were practically tied in knots. "Ambassador," she whispered urgently, "did you see that? The speed, the dexterity, in a juvenile." Zixlar nodded slowly, his initial alarm fading into fascination. "Indeed, it seems we may have underestimated our new friends." As the formal introductions continued, more surprises were in store. The human delegates, in their enthusiasm, shook hands vigorously with each alien they met. To the aliens, used to their own fragile physiology, the strength in those handshakes was alarming. During the tour of the city, more differences became glaringly apparent. The aliens watched in horror as humans casually consumed foods that would be considered toxic on most worlds. They marveled at the ease with which humans navigated the uneven terrain of the city streets, while the alien visitors stumbled and required assistance. At one point, a car backfired loudly, causing the alien delegation to duck for cover. The humans barely flinched, some even laughing at the aliens' reaction. Ambassador Zixlar found himself both terrified and grudgingly impressed. As the day wore on, the alien delegation huddled together, speaking in hushed tones. "Their world, it's a nightmare," one scientist muttered. "The atmospheric pressure, the gravity, the temperature variations. How do they survive?" Vreen, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. "They don't just survive," she said, her voice filled with awe. "They thrive. Look at them. They've built all this in an environment that would kill most sentient species in the galaxy." Ambassador Zixlar nodded slowly. "We came here thinking we were extending a hand to a primitive species," he said. "But I'm beginning to think we may be the primitive ones here." As the sun set on that historic first day, both humans and aliens retired to their respective quarters, minds reeling from the encounter. The humans, excited about the prospects of galactic citizenship, were already dreaming of the stars. The aliens, on the other hand, were frantically sending reports back to the Galactic Council. One thing was clear: the addition of humanity to the Galactic Federation was going to change everything. The age of the Deathworlders had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Deathworld Challenge. 6 months after Earth's induction into the Galactic Federation, the initial excitement had given way to a tense curiosity. Humans, eager to prove themselves on the galactic stage, had been met with a mixture of fascination and fear from their alien counterparts. It was in this climate that Galactivision, the most watched entertainment network in the Federation, announced its latest sensation: Cosmic Survival, the Deathworld Challenge. The premise was simple, yet daring. Representatives from various species would be dropped onto uninhabited planets with extreme conditions, tasked with surviving for one galactic standard month. The contestants would be monitored but unaided, their struggles broadcast across the galaxy. When the call for human participants went out, the response was overwhelming. Thousands applied, seeing it as a chance to showcase humanity's strengths. The alien producers, still wary of human capabilities, decided to limit Earth to a single representative. Sarah Chen, a 28-year-old wilderness survival instructor from Canada, was chosen to represent humanity. As she stood on the launch platform, surrounded by her alien competitors, she couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. Zextra, a willowy being from a low-gravity world, leaned towards her. "Don't worry, human," it whispered, its voice a melodious hum. "We'll make sure you're not placed anywhere too challenging for your kind." Sarah smiled politely, choosing not to mention her weekend hobbies of free climbing and ultra-marathons. The first world they were dropped into was a sweltering jungle planet. Temperatures soared above 40 degrees Celsius, and the air was thick with humidity. While the other contestants immediately sought shade, struggling with the heat, Sarah began to construct a shelter, gathering materials, and weaving them together with practiced ease. "Fascinating," murmured Dr. Kvex, the lead xenobiologist watching the feeds. "The human seems to be sweating. They're using evaporative cooling to regulate their body temperature." As days passed, the differences became more pronounced. Where the other contestants struggled to find safe food sources, Sarah confidently foraged, her omnivorous diet allowing her to consume a wide variety of the planet's flora and fauna. Her ability to eat foods that would be toxic to other species left the watching aliens in awe. But it was during a sudden storm that Sarah truly shone. As hurricane-force winds battered the landscape, most contestants huddled in fear. Sarah, however, quickly reinforced her shelter, created a water collection system from the rain, and even ventured out to help a fellow contestant whose shelter had collapsed. "Unbelievable," gasped one of the alien judges. "She's not just surviving, she's thriving." The next world was an ice planet, with temperatures plummeting to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Here, Sarah's ingenuity came to the forefront. Using materials scavenged from the drop pod, she constructed a makeshift igloo, trapping her body heat to stay warm. She fashioned crude ice skates to traverse the frozen landscape efficiently, leaving her competitors struggling in her wake. As the challenge progressed through different environments, from high-gravity worlds to caustic atmospheres, a pattern emerged. While each environment posed unique challenges to Sarah, her adaptability and problem-solving skills allowed her to not just survive, but excel. The alien audiences watched in fascination as this human, this creature from a world they had dismissed as too hostile for advanced life, consistently outperformed species they had considered far superior. In the control room of Galactivision, producers frantically discussed the unfolding events. "We can't keep this up," one argued. "The human is making the others look primitive. It's not good for galactic harmony." But it was too late. Across the Federation, viewers were captivated. Memes of Sarah's exploits spread like wildfire across the galactic net. Merchandise bearing her image and catchphrases, "It's just a little rain," became bestsellers on thousands of worlds. As the challenge neared its end, it was clear that Sarah had not just survived. She had redefined what survival meant on a galactic scale. In her final broadcast, caked in mud from a swamp planet, but grinning widely, she looked directly into the camera. "To everyone watching across the stars, remember this. We humans have a saying: where there's a will, there's a way. And let me tell you, we've got will in spades." As the contestants were retrieved and the final scores tallied, the galaxy buzzed with excitement. Humanity, it seemed, was not just a curiosity from a death world. They were a force to be reckoned with, adaptable, resilient, and endlessly inventive. The Galactic Federation would never be the same. The age of the Deathworlders had truly begun, and it was clear that humanity's journey among the stars was just beginning. Accidental heroes. The success of cosmic survival, the Deathworld Challenge, had catapulted humanity into the galactic spotlight. As a result, more humans were being integrated into various aspects of galactic society, including Federation spacecraft crews. It was on one such ship, the GSS Harmony, that humanity's survival instincts would once again be put to the test. The Harmony was a state-of-the-art research vessel crewed by some of the brightest minds from across the Federation. Its mission was to study anomalies in the remote Andromeda sector. Among its crew were two humans, Dr. Aisha Patel, a brilliant astrophysicist, and Marcus Tran, a mechanical engineer with a penchant for unorthodox solutions. 3 weeks into their mission, disaster struck. A sudden surge in an unstudied energy field caused a cascade failure in the Harmony systems. The ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel, its engines dead and life support systems failing. As alarms blared and panic spread through the crew, Captain Zinixel, a veteran of the Arcturian fleet, tried to maintain order. "Remain calm," he shouted over the commotion. "We have protocols for this." But it quickly became apparent that their protocols were woefully inadequate for their current situation. The ship's automated repair systems were offline, and the backup power was rapidly depleting. It was in this moment of crisis that the humans' unique perspective came into play. While the alien crew members frantically tried to follow their emergency procedures, Aisha and Marcus exchanged a look of determination. "Captain," Aisha said, her voice cutting through the chaos, "we need to think outside the box. Our standard procedures aren't designed for this level of system failure." Zinxel hesitated, his tendrils twitching nervously. "What do you propose, Dr. Patel?" Marcus stepped forward, already removing panels from a nearby console. "We need to manually reroute power from non-essential systems. We can buy ourselves some time to figure out a more permanent solution." The captain nodded, desperation overriding his usual caution. "Do it." What followed was a masterclass in human ingenuity and adaptability. Aisha and Marcus moved through the ship with a sense of urgency that amazed their alien colleagues. They jury-rigged systems, repurposed equipment, and came up with solutions that would have never occurred to the other crew members. Marcus created a manual pump system to circulate air when the ventilation failed, using materials from the ship's gym equipment. Aisha reprogrammed the food synthesizers to produce a nutrient-rich algae that could sustain the crew and help filter the air. As hours turned into days, the humans' ability to function under extreme stress became evident. While many of the alien crew members struggled with the psychological toll of their situation, Aisha and Marcus remained focused and determined. "How do you do it?" asked Lyrax, a young Vesperian scientist, his wings drooping with exhaustion. "How can you keep going when everything seems hopeless?" Aisha smiled, her eyes tired but still bright. "It's in our nature, Lyrax. Humans have always thrived when our backs are against the wall. It's not that we're not afraid. We're terrified. But we channel that fear into action." Marcus nodded in agreement. "Plus, we've grown up on stories of underdogs beating impossible odds. It's practically our cultural identity at this point." As they worked tirelessly to keep the ship functioning, Aisha had an epiphany about the energy field that had caused their predicament. Using the ship's remaining sensors and her own calculations, she theorized a way to use the field to their advantage. "If we can reconfigure the deflector array," she explained to the captain, her words coming fast with excitement, "we might be able to create a temporary warp bubble. It won't get us home, but it could push us to the edge of the nearest star system." Captain Zinixel looked skeptical. "That's Highly unorthodox, Doctor, and potentially dangerous. Marcus grinned. Welcome to human problem-solving, Captain. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. With no other options, the captain agreed. The next few hours were a flurry of activity as the entire crew, inspired by the humans' determination, worked together to implement Aisha's plan. As the makeshift warp bubble formed around the ship, the crew held their breath. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a lurch that sent everyone sprawling, the Harmony shot forward, riding the energy wave. When they emerged, battered but alive, at the edge of a populated system, the cheers that erupted knew no species barrier. As rescue ships approached, Captain Zinexel turned to Aisha and Marcus, his expression one of profound respect. "I've served in the Federation fleet for 3 decades," he said, "but I've never seen anything like what you two accomplished here. You've saved not just our lives, but expanded our understanding of what's possible." As news of the Harmony's miraculous survival spread across the galaxy, it became clear that humanity's impact on the galactic community was far from over. The age of human ingenuity had dawned, and the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter for it. The Galactic Crisis. As humanity's reputation grew throughout the galaxy, so did their involvement in Federation affairs. Humans were now sought after for their unique perspectives and problem-solving abilities. It was in this climate of growing acceptance and respect that the galaxy faced its greatest threat yet. The Void Plague, as it came to be known, first appeared on the outer rim of the Andromeda Galaxy. Initial reports were confused and fragmented. Entire planets going dark, their populations vanishing without a trace. As the plague spread, consuming world after world, panic began to grip the galactic community. The Federation Council convened an emergency session, with representatives from all member species in attendance. Earth's ambassador, Dr. Ileana Cortez, sat among them, her face grim as she listened to the reports. "The Void Plague defies all known laws of physics and biology," explained Dr. Zixlar, the Centauri scientist who had once been so wary of humanity. "It seems to erase matter at the quantum level. Our most advanced shielding technology is useless against it." A murmur of despair rippled through the council chamber. Species that had been bitter rivals for millennia now found themselves united in fear. It was then that Dr. Cortez stood, her voice calm but firm. "Colleagues, friends, we face an unprecedented threat, but I believe Earth may have something to offer." All eyes turned to her, a mix of hope and skepticism in their gaze. Humanity has faced extinction-level events in our history and our fiction. We've developed a unique perspective on survival against impossible odds. I propose we form a task force, combining the best minds from all our species, to tackle this threat. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Some were eager to try anything, while others were skeptical of putting their faith in the relatively new human species. But as the Void Plague continued its inexorable advance, desperation won out. The Galactic Defense Initiative, GDI, was formed, with its headquarters established on Earth's moon. Scientists, strategists, and soldiers from across the Federation poured in, all united in their mission to stop the Void Plague. Dr. Aisha Patel, the astrophysicist who had saved the GF's Harmony, led the research division. Her experience with anomalous energy fields proved invaluable as they studied the plague's properties. Marcus Tran, now hailed as one of the most innovative engineers in the galaxy, headed the technology division. His ability to repurpose and combine technologies in unexpected ways led to breakthroughs in defensive systems. But it was Sarah Chen, the survivor of the Deathworld challenge, who provided a crucial insight. As she watched simulations of the Void Plague's advance, she recognized a pattern. "It's behaving like a forest fire," she explained to the assembled team. "It's not random. It's seeking out fuel, following the path of least resistance." This observation led to a new strategy. Instead of trying to stop the plague head-on, they would create fire breaks, sacrificing uninhabited systems to create barriers the plague couldn't cross. As the plan was put into action, Humanity's adaptability once again came to the forefront. Human pilots, with their heightened reaction times and ability to withstand high maneuvers, were crucial in implementing the firebreak strategy. They flew dangerous missions into plague-infested areas, deploying experimental devices designed to disrupt the plague's advance. The work was grueling, the losses heavy, but for the first time since the plague appeared, the galaxy had hope. In the midst of this frenetic activity, a team led by Dr. Patel made a startling discovery. The void plague wasn't a natural phenomenon. It was artificial, a weapon of unimaginable power created by an ancient, long-lost civilization. This revelation changed everything. If the plague was a weapon, it could be deactivated. The race was on to decipher the plague's underlying code, to find its off switch before it consumed the entire galaxy. As the GDI worked tirelessly, the people of Earth rallied in support. Children sent drawings to the moon base, artists created inspiring works, and everyday citizens volunteered for dangerous but necessary tasks. The human spirit of community in the face of adversity touched their alien allies, fostering a sense of galactic unity that had never before existed. Months passed, and the tide slowly began to turn. The firebreak strategy contained the plague's advance, buying precious time for the research teams. Finally, after countless sleepless nights and heroic sacrifices, Dr. Patel's team cracked the code. The deactivation signal was prepared, but there was a catch. It had to be delivered directly to the plague's point of origin, deep in infected space. It was a suicide mission, with almost no chance of return. As the Federation Council debated who to send, a familiar face stepped forward. Sarah Chen, the woman who had first understood the plague's nature, volunteered to lead the mission. "This is what humans do," she said, her voice unwavering. "We face the impossible, not because we're fearless, but because we know the value of what we're fighting for." As Sarah's ship disappeared into the swirling chaos of the void plague, the galaxy held its breath. Hours passed with no communication. Then, just as hope began to fade, a signal burst through. "Mission accomplished," came Sarah's tired but triumphant voice. "The plague is deactivating. And I think I found something you're all going to want to see." As the void plague dissipated, revealing Sarah's battered but intact ship, the galaxy erupted in celebration. Humanity, once seen as primitive newcomers, had played a crucial role in saving all of known space. But Sarah's cryptic message hinted that their greatest adventures and challenges might still lie ahead. The galaxy had changed, and humanity's place in it would never be the same. A new understanding. The deactivation of the void plague marked a turning point in galactic history. As the fear and chaos of the crisis subsided, the Federation found itself in a period of reflection and reorganization. Humanity, once viewed with suspicion and fear, was now hailed as saviors of the galaxy. Sarah Chen's return from the heart of the plague brought more than just victory. It brought revelation. The something she had discovered was an ancient archive, a repository of knowledge left behind by the long-lost civilization that had created the void plague. As teams of scientists from across the galaxy worked to decipher the archive, a clearer picture of the galaxy's history emerged. The ancient civilization, known as the Precursors, had once spanned the galaxy. They had engineered the void plague as a last-ditch weapon against an extragalactic threat, only to fall victim to their own creation. This knowledge shook the foundations of many galactic societies. Species that had thought themselves the first to achieve spaceflight now grappled with the reality of being latecomers to a much older stage. In the midst of this upheaval, humanity found itself in a unique position. Their status as newcomers, once a mark against them, now became an advantage. Unencumbered by millennia of established galactic politics and preconceptions, humans were able to approach the revelations of the Precursor Archive with fresh eyes. Dr. Ileana Cortez, Earth's ambassador, proposed a bold initiative to the Federation Council. "We stand at a crossroads," she declared. "The knowledge contained in the Precursor Archive could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. but it also presents great danger if misused. I propose we establish a new organization, the Galactic Academy of Sciences and Ethics, to study this knowledge and ensure it's used for the benefit of all. The proposal was met with widespread approval. The Academy was established on a neutral world, with representatives from all Federation species. Dr. Aisha Patel was named its first director, her experience with both advanced physics and crisis management making her the ideal candidate. As the Academy's work progressed, the influence of human thinking began to permeate galactic society. The human concepts of democracy and individual rights sparked debates and reforms in many alien societies. The human drive for exploration and discovery reinvigorated the Federation's space program, pushing the boundaries of known space further than ever before. Marcus Tran's innovative engineering techniques, combined with precursor knowledge, led to breakthroughs in faster-than-light travel and energy production. Colonies were established in neighboring galaxies, fulfilling humanity's long-held dreams of intergalactic travel. But it wasn't just in the realms of science and exploration that humanity left its mark. The human spirit of community and cooperation in the face of adversity, so crucial during the Void Plague crisis, inspired a galactic cultural renaissance. Art, music, and literature flourished as species that had once viewed each other with suspicion, now collaborated and exchanged ideas. Sarah Chen, the hero of the Void Plague crisis, became a symbol of this new era of cooperation. She traveled the galaxy, sharing her experiences and encouraging others to push their boundaries. Her stories of Earth's wilderness and the challenges she had faced on the Deathworld Challenge became popular across the galaxy, inspiring a new generation of explorers and adventurers. Yet, as humanity's influence grew, so did their understanding of their responsibilities. The knowledge gained from the Precursor Archive was both a gift and a burden. It spoke of wonders beyond imagination, but also of threats that lurked in the darkness between galaxies. In a speech to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Void Plague's defeat, Ambassador Cortez addressed these concerns. "We have come far in a short time," she said, her words broadcast across the galaxy. "From newcomers to the galactic stage, we have become integral members of this grand community. But we must not let our rapid rise blind us to the lessons of history. The precursors fell despite their great knowledge and power. We must strive to be not just more advanced, but wiser. Our strength lies not in our technology or our adaptability, but in our diversity. Each species in this federation brings unique perspectives and abilities. Together, we are greater than the sum of our parts. As we look to the future, let us remember that our greatest adventures and our greatest challenges lie in understanding and celebrating our differences." As her words echoed across countless worlds, humans and aliens alike felt a sense of unity and purpose. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders, but also dangers. Yet with the spirit of cooperation and determination that had seen them through the darkest hours of the Void Plague crisis, they felt ready to face whatever the universe might throw at them. The age of the Deathworlders had evolved into something greater, an age of galactic cooperation and discovery. And at its heart was the indomitable human spirit, forever pushing boundaries, forever seeking new challenges, forever striving to be better. As new ships set out to explore the intergalactic void, as scientists unlocked more secrets of the Precursor Archive, as artists created works that transcended species boundaries, one thing was clear: the greatest chapter in galactic history was just beginning. And humanity, once the newcomers, now stood ready to help write it.